Hello everyone, this is Susan Gerbic from the Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia project, GSoW. I'm going to walk you through something we call a backwards edit. So here's how it works, all right? I've been home maybe 30-45 minutes. I go and I check on my Facebook feed. Richard Saunders is somebody I really enjoy reading his posts. My eye goes to this article that he has put up on his feed about psychic detectives, because nothing makes my blood boil more than somebody who says that they can find your missing child. Just don't even get me started. I call him a grief vampire. And so this caught my eye. I have never heard of this family. I've never heard of this Wikipedia page or anything of the sort. So what I did is I clicked on the article and I started reading it as it's coming up here for you. It's in the Sydney Morning Herald, which is a reputable site that's notable enough that we can use for a citation. So I read through the whole article. Sweet looking little boy, isn't it? Oh my gosh, how sad. The little boy is missing in Queensland in Australia. And these parents here have had a child who was abducted. His name is William, and he was found murdered eventually. It's very sad. This is the little boy. Anyway, it's very sad. But as I was reading over the article, I was looking at the information that Richard had been talking about, concerning a psychic detective, and it's all in this area right here. So I went first to look and see if I could find a Wikipedia page for the Terrell family or the Terrell child, and I didn't find anything. So I did find this article by about the child Daniel Morcombe, also another very sad case. So I wanted to see if I could use this article somewhere on the Wikipedia page for this Wikipedia page. That's what a backwards edit is when you find a notable citation and you want to use it on a Wikipedia page that you may or may not have ever known existed. So that's what I'm going to do right here in front of you. Now I have done a little of this ahead of time because I wanted to make sure that I didn't have you sitting here watching me click on things in frustration and and so on. So I looked over this page and I've read it, and I decided that right down here in the impact area is where I'm going to place some information about the father saying something about grief vampires. Well, he didn't say grief vampires. He said psychic detectives or psychics that are going to try to give you information. He's giving advice. The father is giving advice to the Williams-Terrell family that, be cautious. You're going to be approached by psychics and they're going to waste police time and so on. But you kind of have to listen to them because it's possible somebody could be trying to confess or give you a real lead and say, I'm a psychic. So, that's his advice. And he gives a little more advice. He's very pro-police, and he says that the police are really trying to help you. Just try to stay as positive as you can. And then he gives some real good advice, which he says that you should use, not you should, but the police are going to probably use ATM cameras and things like that to help possibly break an alibi or not break an alibi if once they get a person of interest. So the father is trying to give some advice to other families that have missing children. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. So I've already read this over, as I said, and then I went over here to the talk page of the murder of Daniel Morcombe, and I wanted to look to make sure there was no issues that I should be aware of or anything like that. And on the talk page, you can see that some of the things that they had talked about is that trying to be sensitive to the family when the child was abducted. And here's the thing they're talking about. Should it really be listed under the living people area? because it's a murder investigation. And then they're saying, well, it's still a disappearance. And then the police have confirmed it as being a murder investigation. And then down here, originally it was called the disappearance of Daniel Morcombe. And then down a little further, it says they think it's probably appropriate to change the title of the Wikipedia page to the murder of Daniel Morcombe. And they said, yes, let's wait a little bit to spare the feelings of the family. So Wikipedia editors do have heart. So I don't see anything on here that would give me any kind of pause to not want to make the edit that I want to make. If it was a controversial page or a controversial edit that I planned on making, or if it was going to be a whole rewrite of the Wikipedia page, I would probably come to the talk page and I would make a new section here, and I would discuss it on the talk page with other Wikipedia editors first. But because I'm only going to be adding maybe 4 or 5 sentences, and it's not a controversial page, and that kind of thing, it's going to be pretty easy for me to just go ahead and make the edit. So let's do that. Let's go back to the article. And one of the things I was also going to show you is that it might be a good idea to use your sandbox just to make sure you've got this all down right. So let's use a sandbox so you can watch how this works. This is located up here in your, right by your username on your account. I'm going to click Edit because my sandbox is empty. And then I'm going to click over here so that I can start writing. Now, I have already pre-written this out. Here we go. So what I wrote was, Bruce Morcombe spoke to the family of another missing child, William Terrell, and warned them that psychics will descend on them with bizarre and offbeat distracting information. He calls it distressing, and although they received, I should put that D, hundreds of leads telling them that there's a shed or a water tank, none were of any help. Capturing data from CCTV and ATM cameras is more helpful, and once the police have a person of interest, it may help disprove an alibi. Morcombe's advice is to remain positive. That's all you can do. The police will be working hard if they want to solve it as well. So each Wikipedia editor has a different style. I tend to like to quote things. I think it brings more personality to the article. You may have a differing opinion, and that's fine, because once I make this live, somebody could come in and change this and maybe move the words around a little bit, and I have absolutely no problem with that. I'm not the world's best writer, but this is a start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the Wikipedia page. Remember, I have my page open. Let's go over here. Here's my sandbox. I'm going to take this, go to Edit. Now I have several different ways of doing this. I can just take this whole page, copy it, paste it into my sandbox, or I can just paste in just this part that I plan on adding. Copy, paste. I'm going to paste it over here on my work sandbox. Now I want to add a citation. So right after the period here, I'm going to go to templates, cite web, because it's a web article, and I have some information about the article here. Here's the man's name who's the author. Here's the name of the newspaper. And here's the title, and here is the URL. So I'm going to copy the URL. I'm going to paste it in here. I'm going to type the last name of the reporter, and it's Barlass, and his first name is Tim. The title of the article, I will just copy and paste. Okay, the publisher is the Sydney Morning Herald. The access date is September 17th, 2015. That's the day that I looked at this article. So as of September 17th, 2015, this citation was there. So I'm going to insert this. There is a citation right there. And I'm going to come down here. I'm going to preview this. Preview. And here is what will be in there. So, how does that look? I don't see any typos. Everything looks good. If Tim Barlas had a Wikipedia page, then I can put an author link in there. So I don't need to save this. I'm just going to copy this. It works just fine. See, the citation came up just perfect. I'm going to go over to the edit page of Daniel Morcombe. I'm going to come all the way down to where I said I was going to put it. Remember, all the way to the very bottom of the article, to where it said impact. I thought about making a separate section for maybe advice to other families or something like that. I thought about doing that, and I think I decided that it'll make more sense just to go right here in this little spot, impact. Now, if some other editor wants to come in and move it, that's fine. Again, I don't own this article. So I'm going to put Morcombe advises other parents article. It's whatever you want to put. So I'm going to hit show preview again. And we're going to come down here to the bottom. And there's where I just put in here. And that is citation 39. And there it is right there. Just like that. So then I'm going to hit save. Page. And now I have been able to add this article that I found on this Facebook page to a Wikipedia page here. So more people are going to be able to see this article that is here shared on Facebook. And it has a little bit of a message about psychics and the importance of taking your lead from the police and other parents who have personal experience in this horrible situation, and not psychics. So hopefully maybe somebody will read that and it will give them a little more pause that psychics really can create harm by distracting or taking up police time or giving false hope or trying to capitalize on a missing child. How horrible that could be. Some psychics will say, I did no harm, I didn't charge any money, I never charged for giving advice to missing parents. But I know from past experience that what is actually happening is the psychic detective is not trying to charge money because they know that if they get a hit, the money will come in later because it will make them wealthy. It will give them notoriety. They'll be able to write their own ticket on, lecture circuits or books or whatever by just getting one family with a missing child to endorse them and say that they actually found their child. So, of course, they're not going to charge money to this family right here. That would be a horrible media thing to do. But if they get it right, and it might be a chance, maybe they do have psychic powers, who knows? It's never been proved, but it would be a boom to them, even if they got close to being able to say that they solved this case. So, very sad. But anyway, so that was a backwards edit. Again, a backwards edit means that you have found a notable source, a notable citation, like this one here in a Sydney Morning Herald, and you're trying to find a place to put it so people will come across it. A lot of times the article you're putting it in may have nothing to do with scientific skepticism. It may have nothing to do with pseudoscience or anything of the sort, but it adds a little bit of skepticism into an article. And when a person does stumble across the Wikipedia page and the entry you just put in there, it makes them think. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks.